Hey gang, today we're going to talk about advanced Facebook marketing. In fact, this is the concept that I tried to explain at the recent mastermind, and I believe that if you don't adopt this pretty quick here, you're going to be totally left behind. In fact, many of us are already getting left behind because of how Facebook has greatly shifted. You've probably seen it with your ads and offers lately. It's getting harder to get things approved. The cost per click, the cost per lead, it's all going way up, and it's only going to get worse, especially as I film this. We're here in Q4 of this year, so the competition for ad space on social media platforms is getting higher and higher and higher as we get into the holiday season, which just means that we're going to spend more money. But maybe there's a better way. In fact, not maybe, there is a better way that's ultimately going to bring our cost per lead down and give us a much more qualified prospect, and I believe also make it easier for us to get our message through the Facebook filters in the way that we originally wanted to present it, because they're going to be okay with us being a little bit more deliberate in how we share our message as this process goes on. So let me try to explain. Here's what we're doing now. If you look at the left side of the whiteboard here, this is what we're kind of doing now. Okay, we have a direct ad typically, or in many cases maybe using a lead ad, okay, which we have here. Ad either goes to one of two places. Either we're sending to a funnel where they register and sign up, possibly see an offer, whatever that happens to be, or we're taking them through a lead form, collecting their information, then we're doing monster follow-up and trying to activate the lead. This is the most common way that we're doing. We've kind of done every offer under the sun. We still have a tremendous amount of success with this, but it's getting more and more expensive to get leads this way. So this is what I believe is going to be the future of how we're going to market on social media. It has a number of distinct advantages. We're going to get a more qualified prospect. We're going to get to build a better relationship with them before they ever enter our door, and it's also going to be very difficult for our competitors to ever see what it is that we're doing, because they're going to have to engage with all of our content before they ever get to see that the offers that we're running. So it gives us and allows us to maintain a much more distinct competitive advantage than we do now. So let me explain how it works. It starts with a piece of content. Okay, these symbols here with the little triangles represent videos. Okay, it doesn't have to be a video, but videos have distinct advantages. So in my case, I really like to write, so I'm actually going to use both video and blog posts. And here's how we're going to do this. We put a video up on Facebook. We're not going to make an offer out of it or anything. So not necessarily a call to action, and there's a reason why for that. You'll understand in just a moment. We can inversely use the Facebook pixel on your blog post, on your landing page, or whatever, so we can track and measure who actually shows up to view that content. This piece of content, this video, this blog post, we're going to have Facebook tell us, or actually we're going to select the audience from Facebook the same way we did with a traditional ad over here. So when you're setting up a direct ad or a lead ad and you're choosing your demographics, that's going to be the equivalent of this first cycle in the advanced Facebook strategy. Okay, so typically for us brick and mortar businesses, we're going to use age, gender, location. So typically women, especially for my facilities anyway, and a specific age range that works for me. Yours might be different. And location is typically either address plus radius, zip codes, pin drop, or a combination of all. Bottom line is you want to make sure that when we're setting this up and driving traffic to the blog post or video, that we want to save that audience. Okay, so for the sake of this example, we're going to call this audience 1. This is going to help you make sense of the next step. In phase 2 here, we're going to have a second piece of content. Now, let's backtrack for a second. What should these pieces of content be? This is something that a lot of people are asking me. This should be the content that you are the most excited about, you are the most proud of, that you've got the most compliments on, that you genuinely think can help people the most today. So a good example for me, two things always come to mind. There's my TEDx talk on YouTube. It's the video that I've done that most people have watched. I'm not sure I can actually use it in this environment since that content belongs to TEDx, but it gives you an idea that that's the content or that's the message, so much so that I may even refilm it, presenting that same speech so that I can show that to the audiences at my choosing. Secondarily, I have this article on oatmeal that I wrote probably 12 years ago now, but it's the single article that I wrote that was published in the paper that got more feedback and more responses from anybody and everybody. Okay, so a simple article on oatmeal, but for some reason people have always resonated with it, they've always engaged it, one that was highly read. So good first thing to show people, because it's historically proven that there was obviously a takeaway that people enjoyed. They engage with this content. You can use blog posts, videos can be superior. I'll tell you why. We're going to save this audience, okay? So as soon as somebody visits one of these two things, they're going to be starting to see our second piece of content. The only way you will see this next piece of content is if you are part of this audience, meaning you've had to have looked at or experienced this video or this blog post. Now here's where videos have a distinct advantage. When you go to the custom audience section in Facebook, okay, you get a number of choices when it comes to videos. They can have watched 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 25%, 50%, 90%. Obviously, if you have a 10-minute video or a 20-minute video, you're looking for people that only watch 90% to show your second piece of content to, you're probably going to spend a lot of money here getting video views. But here's my argument, is we probably don't need that. Maybe even 10 seconds would be sufficient, because in today's world, 10 seconds is a lifetime. Okay, if people engage with 10 seconds of your content, it's safe to say that if you show them another video, they might be interested in watching that video too. So if you're following me so far, similar demographics that we use in our current ad structure over here. Okay, we're just sending people to these two pieces of content, getting them to engage. We're saving that audience. Every time a new person is added to this audience, and it's going to be ongoing as long as we're sending traffic to these content, the new people will be added to this audience. As soon as they're added, then Facebook is going to start showing them this next piece of content. What should this be? Same thing, your best quality content possible. What can you do to teach them? Now, in this stage, same thing. I think 10 seconds will be sufficient. You might choose longer, and this is what we're going to need to experiment with. But here's where a video will be really superior. Because if somebody visited my blog post, then started to see this video, watch 10 seconds of it, it's safe to say they might be starting to establish at least a relationship to remember who I am or the name of my business, or if they see something else, possibly to give it a second look. So we save all the viewers of the second piece of content into a separate audience. Okay, for this example, we'll call it audience 2. The minute that somebody watches 10 seconds of this video, they're going to be added to audience 2, and now they're going to start to see social proof and our offers. The social proof videos, testimonial videos from your clients. I loved what Ian said about the mastermind. Props to you, Ian, because it was a really great tip that I probably wouldn't have thought to mention, but it makes perfect sense. We want to show them these social proof videos that work to help to overcome our most common objections. Let me give you an example. We've got a testimonial here from Bob. Bob lost 30 pounds. Imagine if Bob's testimonial started off like this. You know what? I never had time to work out. In fact, I was convinced I could never fit it in my schedule. And then I went to Fit Body Bootcamp, and they made it so easy with the 30-minute workouts. Here I am 6 months later. It's been the only thing that's worked for me. More importantly, the only thing I stuck with, and I've managed to lose 30 pounds. If it can work for me, it can probably work for you. Okay, so imagine you've already engaged with 2 pieces of content, then you start seeing messages like that from Bob that work to overcome our most common objections of time, money, and spouse. At the same time, simultaneously, anybody that's in audience 2 is also going to start to see our offers. Okay, and probably those of you that have worked with me directly, or if you've been following my content for a while, you know that I typically believe in having 2 offers, okay? 2 that are complementary but entirely different. One that's going to be probably free or extremely low cost, and the other that will be a premium offer that will use people to engage people at this point. Now here's the good news. In this strategy, which most of people are currently using right now, it seems like free offers are the only thing that is consistently generating leads at a viable cost per lead. I'm not saying that they won't pay for these things, but just asking them to pay up front is really proving to be difficult, especially in the last 3 to 6 months. But inversely, over here, we've developed such a qualified relationship, I believe it's going to be a very easy thing to ask people to pay us up front, and we can get back to our old metrics of immediately covering our ad budget. So once they engage with this offer, okay, they start seeing the social proof, they start seeing these ads on Facebook. These are now the equivalent of our direct ads, okay, but we're going to use a different metric for them, being conversions. Okay, so it's a selection in the ad manager menu to choose conversion, and then they go to your landing page from the ad, just like they would in the traditional funnel. So from the ad to the landing page, just like they would over here, your pixel code now on this page is going to tell Facebook that these people are exactly the people that you want because they engaged with your content, they looked at your offer, and now they've engaged and ultimately signed up. So not only can we continue to funnel a broad audience through here and building that relationship to get them to buy, once we have buyers that have been through this whole process, we can say, Facebook, please identify those people for me back in the custom audiences menu using a lookalike audience.